All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Lundus Instructs audio podcast. I am your host, Lundus01. Two things really quickly. The royalty-free music that I use is no longer usable, so expect just cold cuts to my voice. No more music intro. If I find more royalty-free music, I'll probably use it. And second, I'm glad to be back after about a 9-day hiatus. Sort of been teasing the show coming back a few times, and even teased this being the finale, which, upon further consideration, I decided was a bad thing to do. So I will continue the show. It will not be ending. I'm glad that everyone was caring so much about the show, and that people didn't want to see it go, and people went out of their way to make sure that it wasn't. So I'm thankful for that. So we'll start here really quickly. Today I want to talk strictly elections, like elections, pretty much. That's why I named this show Elections. But we have a Senate election coming up, one that I will be participating in, of course. We have some other House Representatives elections that happened, but pretty much, without going into too much detail, it is a constitutionalist-federalist split right now. There is so much betrayal, so much backstabbing, so much stuff going on either side that right now the issues are clearly not defined. Is that party lines have been crossed so many times and people have switched left and right. I remember that I used to say it was Akon Artist versus Armand Foley. Akon Artist on the Constitutionalist side, Armand Foley on the Federalist. It looks like Armand Foley has now come to the Federalist or Constitutionalist as the vice chairman. So that's happened, I guess, and now he's the party vice chairman. I don't know how the heck that happened, but one of the most predominant Federalists has now become a Constitutionalist. So I guess really what it is between Jimmy Cross and former Federalist chairman Armand Foley. So that's an interesting narrative right there. But I want to run through quickly, or I want to explain 4 candidates right now, because, listen here, Senate elections and House elections, they're cool, but, no one really cares, right? We want to know about the president election, which is coming up in July, possibly, something like that. So I know that you guys want to hear that, and I have 4 candidates I predict to run. Maybe 5. We'll see. I'll list them. So let's start with probably the most biggest one, of course, the president, Akon Artist. Is Akon Artist going to rerun? I am going to make the prediction today that Akon Artist will not rerun, just because he's been teasing it a little bit. I mean, I've been in a few group chats with him, and he seems to not be very keen to the idea, and, other people that are with him are sort of more interested in running than he is. So, also, polls that Akon Artist has released, there was one that he released a while ago, that was like, would you support me running again? And that got I think 25 downvotes. So that was pretty interesting. So I don't think a lot of American people want to see Akon Artist running again. However, a poll released later that day showed that the results were a little bit more split. 14 people were in support of it and 10 people were not. So again, it's you host a poll in AR one day, 2 hours later, something completely different. So excuse me. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know if he's going to rerun. I have a feeling he's not. So that's my prediction right now, is that Armand Foley will not rerun. So that opens the gate to a whole slew of different candidates. Firstly, I want to talk about Armand Foley. Of course, we all know in the classic two-way race of earlier this year, we all know the narrative that Armand Foley, was leading big time against Akon. Of course, Akon made some deals, some stuff happened. He got smart and beat Armand. Armand is out and looking for revenge. I've confirmed this. He is officially rerunning for president. Very easily, probably going to get the Constitutionalist or the Federalist nomination, just in case one of them selects him. Probably the Federalist nomination, because I feel like he's just trying to get on Akon's good side by being with the Constitutionalist right now. So expect Armand Foley to be running. He will probably not choose William P. Nixon again as his running mate. However, that is yet to be seen. It could definitely happen, but I have a feeling that he's going to choose someone else. So we're not talking running mates here. We're talking about people who are running. So, of course, Armand Foley, Akon Artist. So let's talk about some more sleeper picks I would like to say here. So let's start with Savory Soup, the currently vice president. I could really easily see this being a race between Savory and a race between Armand. I have a feeling that Savory would not win in a race against Armand, but I have a feeling that 8 Connors would. So I have a feeling that it's going to be a Savory Armin race, possibly. Probably not going to be a very strictly two-candidate race, kind of like it was last time. It might be a few other parties might form up just so other people can run, or maybe there'll be an independent candidate. But if Savory runs, which I'm pretty sure he's interested in, I don't think that the vice president and the president, have a great relationship. Just what I've been seeing in group chats and all that stuff. So I feel like Savory is interested in becoming president, and if that were to happen, that would be interesting as well. So let's talk about someone I think that no one's really going to suspect to run, but I have a feeling would get a lot of support. That is the former DoCal secretary, current Secretary of the State, 103315. I don't know him too well, but I've talked to him on a few occasions. Very good guy. Knows what he's doing. He's revived. He revived DoCal. He made DoCal into what it was, and then he left because of unseen circumstance. He came back to AR, and now he's the Sec State, and we got so much good stuff happening with that. So, personally, I think that he has the right vision in America, and I feel like if he ran, he would definitely get a lot of support. So, I'll talk about one final candidate. So, 103315, if he ran, which he's been contemplating doing, I've talked to him a little bit before the show just so I could see what his opinion was, and he said, he wouldn't deny the offer, and I have a feeling that he would also get the constitutionalist nomination. I have a feeling that Armin actually, here's a prediction. I have a feeling that Armin is going to try to get both nominations. He's going to run in both primaries, but I have a feeling that either Savory or 103315 on the constitutionalist side, or Jeremy Cross on the federalist side will try to get in his way. So speaking of, I think that's the last person I want to talk about is Jeremy Cross, the current federalist chairman. Jeremy, I also spoke to him a little bit before the show. He said that he was interested in running as well, and I think that he is not an Armand Foley. I would say that, whatever, he's the Federalist chairman, whatever, but besides that, only a few people know him. He's not an Armand Foley where he was the speaker and all this other stuff, one of the original members of the nation. So I don't know if he would even get any of that much support, even though he is a Federalist, even though he is this and that and this and that. I don't know if he would really get any support. He might get the Federalist Party nomination, but if he does, I have a feeling that if Savory ran against him, if Akon ran against him, if 103315 ran against him, all of these people would beat him easily. So I have a feeling that a Jeremy might run, but I don't think that it would be a great idea by the Federalists to nominate him. So with that being said, what would we expect from a presidency like this? What would we expect from a presidency of any of these people if they were elected? I want to talk about that quickly. So let's start with Akon. Of course, Akon, we're going to see continued, I guess you could say stagflation. Not stagflation. I don't think it's that severe, but it's stagnation. We'll not say it's bad, just stagnation. I don't think that anything's really happening. His cabinet is pretty much pulling all the weight right now. Is that the Sec State, all this stuff. So I feel like Akon just, he's a popular guy. He's great with words. He's whatever. He's, popular because he reaches out to people. He's always active. But is he popular in his candidacy and his policies? I say that, again, just there's this stagnation. We're not going up. We're not going down, which is fine. So I think that he's just the okay president. Just the presidential candidate that's, or the president that's okay, we're fine. We're not going to go up. We're not going to go down. Definitely not going to go down. We might go up. Never know. So he would probably be the safe choice for Americans if they want to continue the way we are. If Americans want something that's better, if we want something that, can push the boundaries of our activity, if we can, take risks and maybe even benefit out of them, I see a whole slew of support for other candidates. So what would we see in an Armin Foley presidency? That's a question that was asked, 4 months ago when he ran. I don't know. Would it be better than Akon's? That's a good question because honestly, of course you don't know, but I could predict the prediction that it could be or that it wouldn't be. Judging off the record, Armand Foley, he's trying to live up to what his reputation was in the House. He's kind of plagued with this sort of inactivity of the House, and he's plagued with his inactivity as moderator, and he's plagued with this and plagued with that. So right now he's just getting hired in various state departments. He was even hired by my Treasury, and he did a great job. So he's just trying to mend the wounds, let's say, of his former his former, I guess, stuff that he did in the past that have made him less favorable to the American people. Would he continue that sort of mentality in office? That's something that is debatable. However, I don't know if he would put in the same. I think he would put in more work probably than a con artist, but I don't know if we would see any major differences in his governing style. One person I could see, though, getting a slew of support based off of what I just said, like if Americans want to move forward, is 103.315. He's like the perfect envisionment or the embodiment of like hard work and change, like an activity and all of this stuff, right? And all of this excitement. He's the person that, got the DoCal active, got them running and going. We saw so many businesses, so many jobs created under his watch. We saw in the Secretary of the State now, it's thriving, definitely one of the most successful departments. So I'm happy for that, and I think that a lot of American people are seeing what he's doing. He's been in various polls, and he's gotten a lot of support. He's not nearly as popular as an Armand Foley. He's not nearly as popular as a con artist or a Savory, but he's someone I would keep my eye on. If he runs, I think that it would be a great spectacle to see. I think that maybe he could go far, and I feel like that would be great for America. I think we should take a risk in someone someone that's willing to put in the work, someone that's willing to micromanage when needed, but always hire good people. I feel like that would be the perfect candidate for America. Of course, this is a month early. We don't know any vice presidential picks. We don't even know if 103.315 is running. We don't know if Savory would be running. We don't even know if the president is running. I can confirm, though, Armand Foley will be running. So that is something that I am certifying right now, is that Armand Foley will be running. Finally, I want to talk about what a Jeremy Cross presidency would be. I mean, most people might laugh at me when I even mention that, but it's something that would be immature if we would not discuss it. I feel like Jeremy would not win if he was in a race. However, if somehow he did, if the electorate was tied and it was up to the Congress, I could see some sort of Federalist majority passing that. I would be surprised not only, but I think that America wouldn't be, we would be doing worse than we are now. I feel like he would just be hungry for ego, he'd be hungry for power, and he would try to get a spot as president. He would just do it for the ego, for his ego boost, and then he would forget about AR, probably even ruin it. And I feel like if Jeremy was elected, we wouldn't be on a good path. So that's my personal opinion. I advise that you look into this more if you want. But I feel like, just keep up to date with it. It's going to be an interesting race, definitely, for sure, especially when vice presidential picks come out, because those will be really good, important to see if, we're choosing someone that's good or someone that's bad. So, I just spent this entire episode about talking about elections, but I know I've been out for so long, I didn't even mention half the news that's been going on. So I promise I'll get to that next episode, which will probably be on either probably tomorrow. So I promise maybe tomorrow, maybe on Thursday. So with that being said, though, I thank you so much for watching the Lundus Instructs audio podcast. Thank you for sticking with it. Thank you for telling me to keep making more. And I will see you probably tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.